Good afternoon. Appreciate everybody coming out to join us today. It's an exciting time in Aztec athletics as we prepare to watch a number of Aztec student athletes realize their dream this evening or this weekend of having their name called at the NFL draft. SDSU has had at least one player drafted in 6 of the last 7 years. Obviously, that'll be 7 of 8 after this weekend. And we've had 15 student athletes drafted since 2011. That number grows as well. With that, I felt there was no better time to present a vision for what an NFL stadium in SDSU Mission Valley could look like. Along with our partners at Populous and JMI Sports, we knew we needed to ensure our Aztec Stadium site could accommodate an NFL venue should an owner want to build at SDSU Mission Valley. An SDSU Mission Valley site that doesn't sunset in 5 years, but allows for the opportunity at any point in the future. SDSU Mission Valley is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to expand the university in a location that is both close to campus and large enough to accommodate the region's growing needs for higher education, housing, employment, recreational amenities, and open spaces. SDSU is currently landlocked on 288 acres, and the Mission Valley site allows the institution to ensure future generations have appropriate access to higher education. We have taken great care in our planning efforts with the community to address open space and parks first on the site. Over half of the site will be dedicated to campus parks, green spaces, public plazas, and to addressing the hydrology issues through the completion of a river park. Hike and bike trails will provide access for residents, faculty, staff, students, community, and visitors to engage the river park, the recreation fields, campus, mixed-use retail, residential areas, and of course the stadium. We envision building 4,500 residential units that will range from affordable housing to housing for faculty, staff, upper division, students to market rate options. And the design of the site allows for residential and park space to engage each other in a thoughtful manner. The Mission Valley campus will be a research and innovation hub. 1.6 million square feet are planned and will accommodate industry co-location with SDSU programs, faculty, staff, students, research and entrepreneurial opportunities, and a clear future for the expansion of higher education in San Diego. Appropriately sized mixed-use retail will be developed in and around Aztec Stadium as well as in the residential areas. There will be neighborhoods serving retail to serve the residents of SDSU Mission Valley, along with entertainment retail, restaurants, and bars that will complement the stadium events, yet also provide dining and entertainment experiences for residents and visitors alike. And of course, a 35,000-seat multi-use stadium that one day will be able to, from day one, will be able to host college football, NCAA championships, high school championships, concerts, other sporting events, dirt events, and professional and international soccer. One that is easily expandable at any time in the future for NFL. SDSU Populous and JMI Sports intentionally designed a multi-use stadium that takes advantage of the San Diego climate and is built to be used 365 days a year, whether that be for a full bowl event or the simple rental of a garden room. SDSU Athletics is currently in the midst of a market study to understand the needs of the community related to the design that we've created. Along with our partners at CSL Legends, we have conducted one-on-one interviews with key constituents. We have held focus groups with alumni, donors, season ticket holders, marketing partners, and single game ticket purchasers. And we will soon conduct a wide-ranging survey of our community to best inform us on our current program. Our partners at Populous used the expertise they have accumulated during the design of multiple NFL stadiums, including Heinz Field and University of Phoenix Stadium, to create a program and design that is informed by years of experience. The result, a 55,000-seat stadium that incorporates the west side of Aztec Stadium and new construction to meet NFL standards. The design is influenced by sailboats one might find in San Diego Harbor. The skin is made from perforated aluminum panels that are fixed to the structure behind and are designed to recall the shapes and dynamic movement that sails exhibit on a sailboat. The structure is steel columns with spacing and cadence to help complete the visual of sailboat masts in San Diego Harbor. The skin will be coated with various shades of paint, darker at the base, lighter as you move up the facility. This, combined with the overlap of the various panels and the perforations in the metal, will provide dynamic color changes as the day progresses through the variation in sun angles and intensity. This is intended to recall the waves interacting with the shoreline. At night, the panels will be illuminated with LED lighting to dynamically change the building skin from day to night. During nighttime events on the field, the skin can be illuminated from the internally to make the skin virtually disappear. This will allow the architecture to change appearance from non-game day to game day, clearly indicating when an event is taking place. The main concourse at grade uses a concept of outdoor bar and restaurant spaces similar to communities around San Diego to provide a unique Southern California experience to the stadium. Major elements of the garden rooms found in Aztec Stadium will remain as a new NFL stadium grows around it. The canopy will be constructed using ETFE panels with the ability to change the level of sunlight that passes through the system. Less sunlight on a warm sunny day, more sunlight on a cooler sunny day. There are a variety of social gathering areas planned into and around the seating bowl, providing opportunities for unique experiences for fans while still being visually connected to the field. 82 suites, including field level, lower bowl sideline, and upper sideline suites. 5 different club sections with approximately 6,500 seats and associated amenities. 50 loge boxes with an associated lounge. 2 end-zone party decks and 6 exterior balconies. As you look at the interior of the building, you'll see the field level suite or the field level club areas that could be built similar to what you see in other NFL stadia. Portable loge boxes at the field level. This is new suite seating and club seating that would come from the NFL side. What you see here is the Aztec west side of the Aztec Stadium, loge club seating, loge boxes there and suites, and then suites and loge boxes above. Basically, an NFL, what we're proposing is an NFL owner could come in and take basically the east side of the stadium and the 2 end zones, take them down to the ground, build out the service levels and stadium that they need while keeping all of the premium amenities on the west side of the stadium. Looking now at a cross-section at the 50-yard line of Aztec Stadium and a future NFL stadium shows the difference in massing of the two. It also shows that Populous, JMI Sports, and SDSU have intentionally designed the space to comfortably allow for the expansion of NFL Stadium at any time in the future. Now on the screen is a view of the proposed NFL Stadium compared to the view from the University of Phoenix Stadium. While the first row of the seats are the same distance from the sideline, you can see how much closer the seats are as you move up through the bowl, creating a much more intimate experience for the fan. In closing, I am excited about the opportunities that lay ahead for SDSU and the San Diego community. Given the opportunity to purchase the Mission Valley property, SDSU will begin a full CEQA process. Again, SDSU will go through a full CEQA process and be ready to put a shovel in the ground for a new stadium upon completion of our EIR. The expansion of higher education, the expansion of SDSU's $5.67 billion economic impact and $472 million in state and local taxes, the construction of a true multi-use stadium for Aztec football, professional soccer, and maybe one day, NFL team is not a dream. It's a reality that is readily attainable. Go Aztecs.
And with that, we'll open it up for questions.
How much more will it add to the price tag to make this expandable for an NFL team that might never come?
As we've talked with the architects, again, very high level, conceptual, with the price of square footage for an NFL stadium right now, I think we looked at is $650 a square foot. probably $750 to $850 million to do what we've shown today.
Does anybody think the NFL's ever coming back?
I can't answer that. We would have to talk to others out there.
In that case, why make it expandable for the NFL?
Well, one, I think it gives us the opportunity on our current site with a current Aztec stadium at 35,000 seats to have a very dynamic venue, especially with all of the concourse space and what that allows you to do on a daily basis there. And, you know, I mean, obviously when the Chargers left, that left a hole in a lot of people's hearts in San Diego. And given the opportunity to design a site where a future partner could come in, why wouldn't we do it?
JD, given the NFL aspect of this, how much more attractive do you think this makes this project to the city as a whole?
I hope it shows that we've been extremely thoughtful in the design of, you know, Sdsu Mission Valley, that we've really thought this through, you know, not just across the River Park and the residential and mixed-use retail, but we look at the sporting component, which is important to a lot of people, and that we want to leave it open to whatever opportunities may be out there. You know, obviously Aztec football has been here for a long time, is going to be here for a long time. The opportunity that professional soccer or a spring professional football league or whatever it might be could come into a 35,000 seat stadium. And then if the NFL wants to come back, well, our site's here. It's not gone in 5 years.
Do you think the size of this and scope of this project's going to bring about even more opposition to your plan from the other plan because they want a smaller stadium?
You would have to ask them that question.
But I mean, just do you think it will, based on your dealings with them?
You know, I'm more than anything. Obviously, they've said what size stadium they want, and we've said what size stadium we feel we need to be successful. And I'm standing here in front of you today, so I think you can figure it out from there. You're pretty smart, and you've got a UI degree, Bernie.
I mean, I do have a UI degree. So, follow-up question, JD: if both measures are voted down, do you have faith in the city to do the right thing with the Qualcomm site as it pertains to San Diego State and a football stadium?
Yeah, obviously, I feel like the expansion of higher education, the opportunity for San Diego State to build a football stadium for Aztec football and for whatever might come, I think that's compelling. And, you know, whatever happens in November. And if, you know, on November, I believe it's 9th, we're looking at, you know, we're not looking at that site as being available for us to purchase, then yes, it's working with the city, and it's in the city's best interest to do something with the site as quickly as possible so that you can start generating, you know, construction on there, which is good for the community, is good for the tax base and all of those pieces.
And have you checked in with Councilman Sherman on his attempt to bring an NFL team to San Diego?
I have not, since I heard him. You know, I heard him on the radio talk the other day about having gone to Jacksonville, but with Wembley Stadium being purchased today by the Jags owner, I don't think that's going to happen. So no, I have not had any conversations with Councilman Sherman.
Did you guys, do you think 55,000 is enough to attract an NFL team, and how did you guys arrive at that number?
55,000 is a number that we've heard out there. One of our consultants actually had a conversation with an NFL owner, not on the West Coast, who thought it was crazy to build anything bigger than 55,000 in San Diego, because that's, you know, as you look at 70,000 was really hard to fill, and the only reason it was at 70 was to attract the Super Bowl. It's gotten really expensive to attract a Super Bowl, and there's not really that rotation anymore of, you know, San Diego's going to see the Super Bowl every, you know, 5 or 6 years. So those last 15,000 seats bring your least amount of return on investment. So we felt 55,000 was the right number. Now, again, if an NFL owner comes in and wants to look at it, you know, a higher number, then that's certainly something that can be done.
Is that possible to expand to an even higher number than 55?
We haven't explored it yet, but, you know, again, with what you can do in architecture today in sports stadia, it's probably not out of the realm of possibility.
What's the sense that an NFL team would want to share with a college program as opposed to wanting something just for their own?
You know, again, that's a conversation to have. South Florida plays where Tampa Bay plays, the Eagles and Temple coexist. Again, it's a conversation to have. And we just want to allow that opportunity. We want to provide the ultimate flexibility as we look at an Sdsu Mission Valley. And again, we look at it for what's best for the community. Expansion of higher education, building a stadium for the Aztecs, but still having that opportunity if the NFL wants to come back.
We talk about the Temple and we talk about the Eagles, but no one else has it the other way around, where a university would have and be the domain literally over an NFL team.
You know, again, it's a discussion, it's a negotiation. Perhaps there's, you know, an equity partnership at that point where it's, you know, you're purchasing part of the stadium or the land or whatever it may be. I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this. To hypothesize on what it would actually be, you probably wouldn't be able to arrive at anything.
You say 700 to 800 million to expand. How much are the Aztecs once again willing to put in for 35,000?
We anticipate our 35,000 seat stadium at approximately $250 million. But you have to look, the higher you get out of the ground, the more expensive you get. So in the premium amenities, the NFL requires a lot more premium amenities, a lot more service level as you go back and look at the, just look at the massing of their stadium versus ours. There's just a lot more construction to it.
So if you could get a shovel in the ground, if you get this passed in November, get a shovel in the ground and perhaps get a team, let's say next year, you could somehow keep this around $1 billion. Is that a possibility? Is that feasible?
Sure. I mean, I don't know that there's going to be an NFL team knocking on our door in the next year. But again, with our architects, we've intentionally designed it in such a way that you could keep that west stadium and be able to take the rest of the stadium down and not, you know, create too many issues for that west piece of stadium sitting there.
We're hearing a lot of numbers here, but who ultimately gets the price tag for whether it's 250 or it's $1 billion? How is that? What is the pie chart?
I mean, again, we're at 250 million, and I think it's unrealistic to say the NFL is going to be here in a year, so it would be on an NFL owner to pick up the tab on the other.
But overall, with this, the entire project that you're hoping gets passed in November, how much money are you and this university ready to spend, no matter what the vote goes?
Are you talking on just the stadium or Sdsu Mission Valley?
Both.
Well, again, we've said 250 million is what we contemplate for the stadium, and we're still working through our finance plan for the entire site, and that's something we'll have in the near future.
And JD, wouldn't that be over several years? Could that be over several years, what you want to do, mixed use, residential?
Yeah, we contemplate Sdsu Mission Valley, given the opportunity to purchase the land from the city, it's going to take 15 to 20 years to build out the entire site.
Are you willing to work with the opposition's plan for a building like that, or your building?
I don't understand the question.
Assuming you lose, assuming the project that I know you can't officially back, but if the Soccer City project wins, are you willing to work on that project with those folks?
You know, again, once we get through November 8th, we'll assess what's happened and, you know, have the appropriate discussions to understand what a stadium might look like in Mission Valley.
JD, that obviously is another Mission Valley initiative on the ballot. They also have an NFL component as well, an NFL stadium component. How does yours differ from theirs, and why is yours, you think, better?
I think the biggest factor is ours doesn't sunset in 5 years. You know, our opportunity to build an NFL stadium will be there, you know, as long as we have the site there, and we think there's an interest from the, you know, there's a potential interest to be there. I think that right there is the biggest single one.
And if you go from 35 to 55, that's 20,000 more bodies. What sort of traffic parking mitigation do you have to add to that project?
Again, that's one of the great things about us is that gets informed as we go through the CEQA process and develop our EIR at the end of it. As we look at that jump from 35 to 55, it probably ends up being whoever that NFL partner would probably have to do an additional EIR to understand what that mitigation is and what off-sites would have to be done, as well as, you know, what we would do with parking on site.
So that's why you decided it was better to build with a footprint to expand as opposed to just reserving space for a future NFL stadium on the site?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, utilizing what you have there, a stadium already there, all of the, you know, different pieces that you want to have surrounding a stadium, it just makes sense. Because otherwise, you know, let's say it's 15 years from now and we've built out the site and we're holding this parcel for an NFL team, well, we'll be ready at that point to develop that parcel. So we want to give the opportunity, we want that opportunity to be there, and, you know, for as long as it wants to be there.
We have time for just a couple more questions before we break into one-on-ones.
JD, it sounds like you're going to build the stadium for $250 million, and then you're talking about tearing down 3/4 of that stadium and allowing an NFL team to come in and build an $850 million upgrade. Do I understand that correct?
That's what, as we sat, you know, as we worked with JMI and Populous, that's what we contemplated, yes. Now, that's not to say that somebody comes in with a completely different plan, but that's the one concept that we're presenting today.
How does that affect your financing if you're using long-term revenue bonds to pay for the $250 million, and then that asset might change?
That's something that would, yeah, no, that is a great question, one that would be contemplated as we negotiated with an NFL owner. Again, we're still playing there. There's still revenue being generated by the venue. It's just, you know, one, the bond payment's going to be a little higher, obviously, especially for the NFL owner. And, you know, we would have to work on what that revenue mix is and what it looks like. But again, that's a negotiation that, you know, would happen sometime down the road.
Then who owns the property?
As it's contemplated, the city would sell the property to San Diego State, so San Diego State would own the property.
So you're asking an NFL owner to invest $850 million in a project that they wouldn't actually own?
That's, again, that's all part of a negotiation. It's something that I can't answer one way or the other at this point.
Would you be able to sell them control of that property if that's what they, just to understand?
San Diego State would own the property at that standpoint, you know, at that point. So it's on us to negotiate with a, you know, a potential owner on what that would look like. Would it be selling part of the property? I don't know the answer to that. I can't hypothesize that at this point.
JD, on the side of the stadium where that you would take down, would there be a foundation there already that you could build up on, or are you going to have to go into the ground as well? Is there some, I guess the question is, there some cost saving with the pad there?
No, you would go into the ground because, you know, if you go into an NFL stadium, service level is pretty much circumnavigates the entire facility. So we envision, again, this is just our concept, that you would have to dig down to create the service level and then come up.
There's already a lot of political play happening here, a lot of dirty political play. We already have ads putting, you know, the proposal you want versus the proposal you don't want. Obviously, when you got this job, you know, your job is to be a director, but did you ever think to also become a political player as well?
I know more about hydrology, local politics, and real estate development than any athletic director in the country. That I can guarantee you. It's been an exciting 18 months. I mean, we're 8 straight bowl games, NCAA, you know, the men get back to the NCAA tournament. Over 60% of our student athletes are scholar athletes. Women's soccer won a championship this past year. And we have the opportunity to, you know, hopefully at some point purchase the property in Mission Valley and expand San Diego State University. And again, the expansion of higher education, $5.67 billion economic impact. I can't think of anything more exciting to be associated with than the opportunity to set San Diego State University up for the next 120 years.
Do you fear that conferences like this are going to play into Soccer City's lawsuit about the university's impact and whether that's legal or not?
You know, that's for the lawyers and the friends of Sdsu and for Soccer City to determine. I'm just worried about the opportunity to purchase the property, expand Sdsu, build a river park, and really to build a stadium for San Diego State football.
Have you guys endorsed a private developer?
All of that will go through the appropriate CSU processes. We have our consultants on board right now, but that's as far as we've gone on any of that.